Hello, good morning. It is Wednesday, August 7th, and I am Rob, that developer dad. Today we are going to be dealing with the itty bitty living space that our app has to play with when it's on a mobile device. And we're going to be mostly spending our time inside our Razor controls and the Razor page itself that gets rendered out to these screens. And I want to target the mobile form factor first, and then I'll add some responsive elements so that it still looks good on a desktop when somebody is using it on the desktop. And so hopefully we're not going to have to bring in a controls library or anything like that. But if we do, I'm thinking I'll probably use Microsoft's Fluent UI for Blazor rather than anything more fancy or from a third party or anything like that, simply because a lot of those third party component libraries I've found tend to be really idiosyncratic and way more opinionated than I like, and they're also expensive for an awful lot of them. So let's flip over to the screen share. Here we are. And we'll run the app, and let's take a look at what we're dealing with on a mobile device here. As soon as it comes up. So here's this. Here's our new NPC view. And right away, like this big spot here where it's just dominating the top half of my mobile device screen. It's not great. So just for laughs, let's load up Safari. And I'll go to HTTPS 2.167.1.27 7277, not .25, 27. If that's indeed my my Windows box's thing, IP address, and if it'll behave itself for us. I also want to think about moving from this attributes view to a edit or details view when the AI description comes back from the LLM. I don't think this is actually my IP address. IP config. It's still 27. Good. All right, this is just taking its time. It may or may not decide to cooperate with us. But we've got all this stuff working. We'll generate a random elf. All right, good enough. I was going to try and get this going in Safari on my Mac in developer mode. I was going to turn on an iPhone emulator, but it was taking too long to load. And I kind of want to just get into this. So most of what we're going to do here is going to be over here. Now, yesterday I said I wanted to move this generate button into the options area. And I think that's the first thing I want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. And then we're going to go into here. Hey, how's it going, Rev? Yes, I am on a Mac. but I'm terminaled into a Windows laptop just because I like the development environment on a Windows machine better. Okay. Now, I connected all of this stuff up a little bit differently over here. So if AI button is handled, yes. Yeah, the portability of C# and dotNet these days is fantastic. She is rushing out the door, of course, to handle somebody else's crisis, as she does. So if generate button is handled, we'll show it. And we need to pop over here. I just want to refresh my memory on how I did this stuff. So, need a func. Actually, this could be just an action. Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be an action because we're not actually doing anything asynchronous, so we don't need to return a task. So, let's go into here. I'm going to add a parameter. And it is going to be a public action. Generate NPC. Clicked. Oops. Get set. And I'm going to pop out here. Yeah, on reroll click works. That's fine. Gonna come in here. Gonna add. That's our class. Public void on reroll clicked. And all we're going to do is invoke our handler. Generate NPC underscore. Generate NPC underscore. Clicked. Invoke. Copy. Paste. What are you grumping about? Sometimes Visual Studio gets very, very weird. And it doesn't need to be clicked. Save that. I am within the class scope. This dot. Ah. It needs to be nullable. Invoke. There we go. And public bool is generate NPC is reroll. Visible. And we will be true if generate NPC clicked is not equal to null. Let's come out here. And I'm going to say at if this dot is reroll visible. And we're going to surround that with a fancy fence. Pop that in. Okay, good. And then out on our containing page, rather than having this button here, generate NPC clicked equals at this dot on reroll click. And I'm going to comment this for now. Save. Let's try running it. Now it shouldn't be super visibly different. But we will have moved that button up into our select attributes control. And let's make sure it still works. I just want a random weaver who is not retired. Okay, that's not firing. Let's make sure it's actually connected to the events and stuff. Okay, good. Now let's step in. We'll step in here. Okay. Our user options are, we just want a weaver. Good. Our model is a half elf. Let's see if it updated. It did not, so things didn't rebind for us this time. So generate NPC, return model. Where does it go from here? Generate. Current NPC, we have a gnome weaver. Okay. And I bet oh geez, yeah, avatar images. Are you using Microsoft Identity? Rev got off working with Discord for his app, and the avatar image isn't appearing. Yeah, Microsoft Identity's handling for avatar images and stuff gets kind of funny. I don't know what the deal is. Okay, so we have our new NPC. And it's into the re-render for this stuff. And I don't want to step through all of this nonsense. But it's not making it up in here. So I wonder if out in my page model, I need to do a state changed or something like that. State has changed. Let's try that. Okay, we do inherit from component base here. So theoretically, go. Let's go. And it's still not re-rendering. That's very, very weird. Maybe that button has to be on the out on the main page. Let's see. Let's come out to create NPC. That doesn't sit right with me. Current NPC. Generate NPC. On reroll click. I wonder if I have access to view this dot. View, nope. New window. Access child components on a Blazor page. No, this is the old version. A component called pform. Find event callback delegate property in your child component. Delegate to a method defined on the parent component. Okay. So I think instead of this, Go to the definition. And I got to go to the code. Generate AI clicked. Parameter. Public action of NPC client model. And PC model changed. Get set copy. No, I'm going the wrong way. I'm totally going the wrong way. View NPC attributes. Excuse me. And do I need to do it this way? Public void, update client model, NPC client model, excuse me. Okay, so it's not called NPC client model. What do I call it? Current NPC. Fire the state has changed there. And I probably need to come over to this and add, no. Come out to the page model on reroll click. I don't necessarily want to do that, but private set and okay, it's private, private, private. Here we go. And I'm thinking. So we've got this. I have to pass the reroll click from the page model into here. Nope. I'm just thinking quietly to myself. This handles the event for when I click the Generate AI button. And I need to pass a reference from this to the page handler. Now, can I get rid of the at this here? I feel like I'm falling down a rabbit hole, and it's not a good place to be. I feel like that ain't gonna work, what I just did. Removing a reference to current page. Yeah, it still didn't update for me. That's okay. Let's come back out here. I'm going to put this back. And I'm going to uncomment this just because I'm feeling really, really silly. And just change the text on this button to try this one. Because you'd think it's executing the same code. Let's try this one. And that one works. So what's different? What is different? Come out to our page model. And, oh, dang blaster, what's the event handler? On reroll click. Get rid of that breakpoint. Yeah, but try this one. Absolutely does it. So what's different? Let's go into the page model. And here's this. So try this one, triggers on reroll click. Current NPC gets updated. Because right now it's a half elf with stuff. And then if I hit generate, we end up with a half orc. Oh, I might have to trigger a re-render. You're not wrong. And our half orc is now here. Generate again. Let's get rid of the breakpoint. Continue. Var dummy equals 1. page. This dot build render tree, dispatch exception, invoke on after render, on initialized, on reroll. Yeah, I had a state has changed. And it didn't seem to do anything for me. Let's try it again. I really hope I don't have to go all the way out to program CS and register a cascading variable. The component is calling reroll on the parent. Like, we're out on the page model right now. And the parent owns current NPC and passes it as a parameter on render to the view. Is it behaving itself? Oh yeah, it is. There we go. Okay, so for some reason, the state has changed. Didn't do anything for us at first. I was probably doing something else wrong, and I've changed a bunch of stuff. And I can come back out to my Razor page, comment this nonsense back out. I have a suspicion that bypassing at this dot on reroll click, it might have been doing something inside here. So I'm going to come into our actual view and the Razor code, or the code behind for that. And instead of on reroll click, I'm going to call it on create NPC click. And then I'm going to come into our code behind, create NPC click, because I've got an event cascading out to an event, cascading out to an event, or I've got one event triggering another, and they were named the same thing. And I got to wonder if by having the at this syntax sugar in there, it was getting confused and routing it to the wrong handler. All right, let's just generate a few. There we go. Good. Fantastic. That was supposed to be easy, but it was not. It was not. So something I got to figure out between now and this afternoon, Rev, is I need to give these components an identity and see if I can pass like a components handler to a components method to an event handler on another component. Oh, maybe at ref. I don't know. I haven't dug that deep into Blazor yet. I tend to learn just enough to execute what I want to execute, and that's it. Now, next thing is show hide div without JavaScript. Let's see if there's a way to do this. Show hide div without JavaScript. Show hide div on click and HTML and CSS without jQuery. Don't mind if I do. collapsible headers. It's not quite what I want. Using detail and summary. Let's see what this looks like. That ain't bad. I don't hate that. Oh, I'm going to do that. Actually, that is a mighty fine idea, Rev. That is a very fine idea. And to do that, I'm going to come in here and get rid of all of this other extraneous stuff. This isn't going to impact the page model. We're not going to mess with that yet. So, first thing I'm going to do is div class equals row. And I'm going to go with an H3. Is that what I want? Yeah. H3 class equals call excess. No, I'm just going to go call 9 select NPC options. Button. No. Yeah. Button. Da, 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 da. Class. I'm going to go call 11. Call 1. At toggle text. I don't necessarily want it gone, I just want it hidden. At on click equals toggle option panel. Let's pop over here, create NPC click, public bool option panel is visible. Get private set. Let's make it a parameter, just for laughs, just purely for giggles. I'm going to change this to show up. Show options panel. And I'm going to take this guy, go all the way up to the top with the other parameters. Now I need an option panel, or a toggle option panel. Public void option panel. Public string. Toggle text. Yep. Toggle text get private set. And bool new state equals not show options panel. If new state is true, toggle text equals new state. If it's true, it should be hide, else show. Show options panel equals new state. Here's the new protected override on initialized. Toggle text equals show. Show options panel equals false. No. We're going to not make that a parameter. I don't want that settable from outside after all. Let's see what that gives us. I know it's not going to show or hide anything yet. I just want to make sure it's doing the right thing. And that button needs to be way wider. Way, way, way wider. Let's take this down to 9. Make that 3. Save it. And let's see if hot reload actually does a hot reload for us. Of course not. Yeah. Hot reload is really, really great if you're dealing with pure HTML and JavaScript and stuff like that. I've seen it falls down a little bit with Blazor. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And that bumped it down to another line. Oh, because col 19 doesn't exist. Come on, Rob. A wizard should know better. trying hot reload, even though you've observed it not to work very often. Expecting it to work this time is either the definition of blind faith or insanity. Okay, good. Awesome. Yeah. Now, when it is true, so here's that. And CSS to hide an element, but keep it in the DOM. Visibility hidden, opacity 0, using position absolute. I don't want to do any of that. Well, visibility hidden might work. Let's go out to good old Stack Overflow. Visibility, opacity, transparent. Yeah, that doesn't help me at all. Toggle visibility of an element using the value. And the space of the element will be consumed. Good, that's what I want. So we are going to do a thing. And this is SelectNpcOptions. Where is this folder? Here it is. Components, layout, page models, partials. I'm going to add a file. It's not going to be a class. It's going to be a new item. It's going to be a style sheet. Web. Give me web. Content. Style sheet. Here we go. And it is going to be SelectNpcOptions dot razor dot CSS. I don't want body. I'm going to go shown. Hidden. Visibility. Hidden. All right. Now, let's hit stop. And at show options panel dot as CSS class. Shown, hidden. Now, I'm going to do a silly little thing because I'm a silly little guy sometimes. We're going to come up to framework. We're going to go into that developer dad framework. And I've got add. A class. And I'm second guessing something here. Cancel. Add new folder. Converters. Add a class. And this is going to be Boolean extensions. We're going to make it a public static. And public static string to string this bool value. If value, return true, else return false. I really hate that. That's hideous and unreadable. I mean, yeah, it's readable, but it takes a second to do it. String ret equals false. If value ret equals true, return ret. Public static string and toString I'm not going to use. I'm going to use as string because toString is the name of an actual method that exists on damn near everything. Rev, in my day, we had to re-upload everything to the web server. As string, this bool value, string, true value, string, false value. String ret equals false value. Ret equals true value. Don't come after me, hardware people. And instead of using that toCSS class, because that's silly, bam. And I'm going to move this out of here and up into here. Get rid of the @ sign. Drop that there. Save. Let's see if it fixed a little red wagon out here. No, I guess it really, really wants the... All right. Fine. I was hoping to not pollute my stuff out here with Razor code, but I see that I've already polluted it full of Razor code. All right, so true value is shown, false value is hidden. Where's that CSS file? Shown, hidden. Good. And what the hell? Leroy Jenkins. Nope. I don't want to rerun. I screwed something up. Oh, yeah, that'll help. Save. Save all. All right. Yes, I'll let you rebuild. Okay. And I probably, oh my God, make a change, compile, go for coffee, come back. Like, I remember when the guys at the office that I used to work at celebrated when the Game Boy came out, when the Game Boy Advanced came out, because for build times, and we would frequently, just do a build in the middle of the day and stuff like that. Oh God, yeah, Windows forums, I remember. But yeah, we'd start a build. Okay. Don't love it. Do not love it. Don't love it at all. And what's crazy making is, well, okay, so my statement that I don't love it is sort of a lie. Visibility hidden? No. Let's change it to height equals 0. Oh, we're in CSS. I have to use colons. Assholes. Oh, goodness. I just made a horrible dad joke. Look at me. Now, moment of truth. Tinker, hide, generate. Heck yeah. Heck to the yeah. Let's show it again. Oh, yeah, we still have our Tinker. Let's make sure they're not retired. Now, I need to find a good tri-state way of doing this. And I don't want to use a drop down. I don't want to have to resort to a slider. Oh, that's much nicer. Isn't it? I like that a whole lot. Let's show it. I think they really need to be a human, this one. Oh, yes. Not in love with the way that jumps around, but we're going to deal with that. So what does the Tavern Keeper look like? Oh, gosh. She's an elf of middle age. She has light brown complexion, long silver hair. And she carries herself with a bearing that she used to serve in an army. All right, so we've got our interactivity down. Some of it. This afternoon, I'm about to take a break to do some LinkedIn job searching stuff. and, you know, take care of biological requirements and so on. But when I come back, I'm going to actually comment out the bit that calls out to the LLM, and I want to get the transition that I want to happen from this view to a details view, where we'll show all of the randomly selected stuff as static labels, and anything that comes back from the AI, I am going to make editable. I'm probably going to do the text boxes as read only for now, because it doesn't make sense to make something editable and not be able to save it. But I want to get the UI working. It's ugly, I admit it, but we've got quite a bit of solid interactivity going where we didn't have it before. Should I hide these options automatically when we generate? Nah. Okay. So we've got a decent amount of interactivity going. None of this stuff up here is going out to the AI yet. But when we click this, I want to have it go out to the LLM, generate things like names and a slightly more detailed view of what they look like, a description of their profession, their background, and stuff like that. And then I want to flip to a new view. And we're going to work on that flipping to a new view and getting that new view built out this afternoon when I come back at 1 o'clock. And then once I've got the actual mechanics of that transition happening and and a rough layout for that new view, we'll loop the AI back in, and we'll see how it all works together. So, Rev, thanks for hanging out, man. Your comments and chatter were incredibly helpful. It's nice to know that there is another Blazor developer out there that doesn't mind tuning in and watching me stumble through this stuff. I've spent the past 10 years behind the API for the most part, behind the API and in PowerPoint, and then under duress in Visio. Although I really do like Lucid Charts when somebody is willing to give me when a client or my employer is willing to give me a subscription to it. But yeah, I'm quite happy with the progress I made this morning, even if I did struggle trying to figure out what I was doing wrong with that button. And it works now. I suspect I know why. I think it's because I had things named the same, and I had a this, and I wasn't sure what the @this was referring to, whether it's talking about the page scope or the local what's it scope or whatever, but things weren't propagating properly. And just because I hate it and I don't need it anymore, green code go bye-bye. And I don't know if any of y'all remember how things looked this time last week, but oh, well, I can show you. One momento. So the NPC generator razor, that's all that stuff. And trying to add those drop downs and all of that interactivity that we added to this, I would have ended up a drooling mess of insanity. So we factored stuff out into composable things that looks a whole lot easier to manage. And when we get into changing page states or workflow states and having some things visible during one phase of the workflow and other things visible during others, it's going to be a whole lot easier to manage with this broken out view that we've got now. So until this afternoon, thanks for joining. Rev, you are absolutely right. Wraps the select options in a show hide panel, moves the generate button into the select options component instead of the main page. Commit. And I have 3 commits queued up. I'm going to push them, but I'm not going to do a pull request because I don't want those hanging out on this old laptop, just in case it decides to give up the ghost at the worst possible time. Until this afternoon, I am that developer dad. Thanks again for hanging out with me. We'll see you again real soon. Happy coding.